Mark here for Mark's Max Muscle, and today we're going to be discussing this man, Dorian Yates. Born in 1962, standing 5'11", weighing anywhere from 235 all the way to 290 pounds, he is a former English bodybuilder. Yates had a stronghold on the Sandow Trophy from 1992 all the way to 97. Being a six-time champion, there are only 4 men ever to best his record. When Dorian began bodybuilding, it was apparent that he did not have the best in the way of genetics. As he progressed, his high-intensity, short-duration workouts proved to be the answer to success on the stage. So, in 1985, he placed 7th at a show called the World Games. In 1986, he improved greatly and placed 1st at his weight class at the British Championships. Taking 2nd overall, Dorian would never place out of the top 2 ever again in his bodybuilding career. In 1988, he would not only take 1st in his weight class, but also take the overall at the British Championships. Now he was ready for the IFBB and the Night of Champions. And at 1990 Night of Champions, Yates would place 2nd to an outstanding Mohamed Benaziza. Actually one of the few men to be able to beat Dorian from behind. Let's admire this Wait a minute. Is that Ric Flair? In between Benaziza and Yates, I think that's Ric Flair. Anyway, back to business. The next year, at the Night of Champions, Dorian would not be denied, as he placed 1st. Runner-up that year, Sonny Schmitz. This win would give Dorian the momentum he needed to make waves at the 1991 Mr. Olympia, which would mark his debut at this event. Dorian looked great this year. I personally love this version of Dorian. I mean, look at that mullet. It's hard to beat. Just admire it. Dorian would place 2nd this year, losing to the then 7-time champion, Lee Haney. I'm not going to get into a whole big discussion about the controversy surrounding this event, but it seems to be some contention that a lot of people believe that Yates should have taken home the Sandow. But as this video is not dedicated to that subject, I will be creating more videos on the subject, so we will save that for another day. Bottom line, Haney became an 8-time champion. Enter 92, and enter Dorian's 6-year reign as champion. I personally love this version. Probably my favorite version of Yates. He was lean and actually put on a little bit of muscle from the year before. His back looked great, dialed in and crisp. He placed 1st over Kevin Levrone, who marked his debut at this event. Dorian took home the Sandow. Oh, what a feeling it must have been. To have Joe Weider raise your hand, it just doesn't get any better than that. So, in 1993, this happened. Boom! Dorian literally gave us all an answer to the question, where's the beef? He put on so much mass that year that he changed the face of bodybuilding, and it's never looked back. He earned his 2nd Sandow that year to a runner-up, Flex Wheeler. In fact, that was Flex Wheeler's debut at the Olympia. I believe it was 3 years in a row that a debuting bodybuilder would place 2nd at the Olympia. But only one man out of the 3 was able to grab the brass ring and climb to the top of the mountain and earn a Sandow. How frustrating for Kevin Levrone and Flex Wheeler. But how sweet it is for Dorian Yates. He without a doubt earned that 2nd Sandow. However, in 1994 marked controversy. But as we will not be getting into that at this time, I will be making more videos on that exact subject in the future. So we will save all that juicy information for later. However, Shawn Ray did place second that year. At the 1995 Olympia, Dorian brought a great package. Arguably the best, but not my favorite version. Now, here's why it's arguably the best. Mr. Olympia is generally won from the back. And in my opinion, Dorian's back was outstanding in 95. Compared to other years, something about this year. His traps were full, his bag was wide, Christmas tree was in. It just looked perfect to me. Kevin Levrone placed second that year, for the second time in his career. 96 would earn Dorian his fifth Mr. Olympia win. Shawn Ray brought an outstanding package that year, but the back development of Yates was just too much for him to handle. And Ray took home second prize for the second time in his career. The 97 Mr. Olympia would mark Dorian's last competition ever. As this video is not dedicated to controversial decisions, I'm not going to get into it too much right now. Although, as we can plainly see, Yates has no business on stage as champion. Nasser Al-Sombaty took second that year, and Dorian took home his sixth and final Sandow. Dorian will always be known as the man that ushered in the mass monster era in bodybuilding, and the sport has never looked back. He has arguably the best back development in bodybuilding history, 6 Sandow trophies to his credit, and will always be mentioned in the conversation of best bodybuilders ever. He is the Shadow. He is Dorian Yates. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. That's it for now. This is Mark for Mark's Max Muscle.